Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Money League. Hope everyone had a wonderful July 4th in the US and Canada Day, July 1st in Canada. I don't know what that means. Oh, yeah, Jamaica too. Thanks, Mills. Guys, let's jump into it. We're going to cover all the top transfer news, of course, a little bit of the dark horse transfers. That's the Mills segment today. And we'll jump on to some of the important injuries we're monitoring this offseason. Yep, let's get started on the main topic. Arsenal has spent more than $200 million. So they have no excuse this upcoming season. What do you take?
I think they take a step, but I still don't think that means they win the league. So my step is that I think they make it out of their group in the Champions League. I think they're top 3 in England, and they grab some sort of trophy.
But they're already top 3 in England. So
yeah, I know, but you know what? You can't Man City is just so hard to attain, and it wouldn't surprise me if they're right there in the 2-3 battles. So I think a good run in Europe, top 3, maybe an FA Cup.
Yep. Okay.
I completely agree. I completely agree. They said, yep, they stay in second place, of course, behind the mighty Man City. But yeah, a lot of good moves. I expect Kai Havertz to have a big impact on them, and yeah, they should be better. Also, they should be better defensively because they collapsed later in the season.
I hope so. Honestly, adding Rice and Havertz, it's not scary enough. I feel like, yeah, okay, sure, but I think they're going to be good, but I don't know if they can topple Man City. Okay, let's jump on to Chelsea. So Chelsea's been doing some really good business. I really like some of the players they have sold and the money they've got. And of course, we are like the top charter paying Mason Mount $60 million with 1 year left in his contract. But one of the I don't know how true this is. I did read on Twitter. So apparently Chelsea got some investment from Saudis. And that's one of the reasons Chelsea is selling most of a lot of their players like Kante, Koulibaly, and players like that to the Saudi Premier League, and they're making a lot of money. So I think
it's a loophole too, right?
Yeah, it's a loophole. I understand, but I think it's a really good money move after spending $500 million in Jan and not doing anything. I think Chelsea is kind of having a really good offseason in terms of the business aspect of it.
I also think that they're just gonna be a lot better, and they just needed that wipe the slate clean, everyone go on vacation, and let's just come back, start again. Because they were just stuck in such a bad rut. I don't think anyone really wanted to be there. And so they're a lot better than they finished. I mean, everyone knows that they're a lot better than they finished. But I think they're a sneaky pick to be even close to the title race kind of thing, would it really surprise you if Chelsea finished?
No surprise, but Chelsea has done that before. They've won the league after won the Champions League after finishing.
Won the Champions League out of nowhere and then disappeared again.
Yeah, right? You never know.
And also a lot of exciting young talent they bought in. They bought in that the Wunderkind out of Ecuador, Kendry Paez. They signed him, and also they bought in another player dear to my heart, as I mentioned before, Dushan Whisper Richards out of the Phoenix Academy in Jamaica, baby. That's right. That's right. So a lot of youth.
Okay,
really cool.
A couple of years back, they did bring on the U.S. wonder kid Christian Pulisic, and that fizzled out pretty fast. So let's see what Chelsea does. And Man City and Man United. Man United, of course, we signed Mason Mount for a ridiculous amount of money, and we're paying him more than Bruno Fernandes. I just don't get it. I don't know what the logic behind that is. Maybe age. He's 24, coming off, I don't know, sports hernia. Harjus, what's the doctor's perspective here? Is he going to, I know 2020 and 2021, he had really good seasons with Chelsea. Last year was a crazy dip. Maybe it was due to injury, but what are we looking at in terms of his comeback? And was it a smart investment by United?
Well, in terms of the price, I think it's too much, even if he was fully fit. In terms of his comeback, I think he'll be fine. I haven't reviewed the data. There's honestly really good research out there and evidence, and I could probably do a quick look and take a look. But I don't think player performance significantly drops after having sports hernia surgery. So I really do think that you should expect the same Mason Mount as before. Okay. And if from a statistical standpoint or stylistic standpoint, he doesn't look as good, I would probably attribute it more to maybe a poor fit in Man United than so much that he's got lingering injury issues. I mean, sometimes players just get bad. James Rodriguez, great example. I wouldn't chalk it up to injuries per se in this case. So you should expect him to be the same player. It's just too much money, but at least be happy to know it wasn't your money.
That is true. But you never know. Like maybe like everyone's criticizing this move, so he might be good.
I like him. I like
Yeah.
him as a player. I think he's good.
It's always like the opposite. Milty, what about your Man City, mighty Man City? Have you guys? I don't see any big news from your side. Are you guys content with the team you have?
Actually, one of the biggest news is that everybody has heard of it and they thought about it, but we lost Ilkay Gundogan.
Yes, he went to Barcelona.
Yeah, we lost him to Barcelona, but we did get another Chelsea
Kovacic,
man,
right?
Mateo Kovacic. I don't see him stepping in that midfield role that Gundogan good, because he was kind of like he was one of those deep inline playmakers that we use, and he was instrumental to the attack. Now Kovacic is a good central midfielder. We saw him get some
He's more of a
good minutes on the ball.
midfielder.
He's more of a defensive midfielder, yeah, as opposed to like he's more of a CDM as opposed to a central midfielder or a cam. So yeah, he could definitely play maybe the number 6, but like we kind of experimented with the 4-2-3-1 as we saw with Haaland up top, and we put Rodrigo and somebody, and usually have somebody else on the left too. But yeah, if we do that, he could definitely fit in. But yeah, I just that he should fit in. Why? But I don't see it as a like switch.
Probably not. I think Pep would be fine. He has enough money. You guys would sign some monster guy towards the end of the transfer window and be like, oh yeah, we're back again. Let's jump on to some. Oh, Liverpool, we forgot. Dude, I think Liverpool had 2 really good signings. McAllister, I think he is amazing. I like him a lot. And he's the doppelganger for Lionel Messi, if people don't know. And this player, I'm going to screw up his name, Zobalsai Mills. Am I pronouncing his name right?
Yes, his name is Dominic Susabalai. That's Susabalai. He's also the captain of the Hungarian national team. Now they get him for RB Leipzig. He's an attacking midfielder. They've used him at the 10. They can use him at the 8 too.
He might replace what Firmino used to do at Liverpool.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the goal for what he's going to do. I mean, he only played a couple of matches. He was good. I mean, he played 6 matches for 30. He played 31 matches in the Bundesliga, 6 goals, 8 assists. So pretty good vision, good with the ball at his feet. So good playmaker. So yeah, he could be there for the Firmino replacement. So I like it.
That'll be a good one. Of course, I think Jurgen Klopp is going to have a comeback season this year. I think he's going to be great.
They see someone put the ball in the net. That's it. They have someone put the ball in the net, they'll be fine.
Yeah. One of my dark horse transfers this season is James Maddison from Tottenham. I think that's a really good signing. No one went for him. They got him for pretty cheap too. I really like him. Harjus, what's your dark horse pick or transfer?
My dark horse transfer?
Yes.
Is McAllister allowed to be dark horse? Because he was pretty popular after Argentina won the World Cup.
I get it. Again, for 35 mil, super
I think he was great on Brighton.
I know.
And I like it both ways. I like it for Brighton. Like, I think you sell him at his absolute peak. But I also really like it for Liverpool because I think he slides in so nicely in there. The reason I think it's dark horse is because he's coming from a small club. Yeah. It's not one of these like big name, big transfers that goes
he
across.
Still had a World Cup goal, and he was pretty good.
He did, but I also don't know if was there any real true competition for him?
Probably not. See, again, that's why which kind of it frustrates me is we pay 60 million for Mason Mount, and McAllister is going for 35. Any day I would take McAllister over Mason Mount. No questions asked.
Really?
It's just
really.
I would take McAllister over Mason Mount any day. McAllister is a proven talent. He proved in the World Cup, and he played really well for Brighton. Brighton finished in the top 8 because of him. One of the main reasons. And
the other small thing I want to say, not to be this Canadian bias, but Jonathan David did really well in the French league. Okay, outscored guys on PSG like Neymar, although injuries and Messi, a lot of games played in the French league, and I think he's drawn interest from the EPL, and so he might still move. So I think he would be a nice under the radar striker for someone if they snagged him.
We'll see. Neymar to United, anything is possible. Mills, what's your dark horse pick?
I have 2 actually.
No, you have to go with one. We're not going to.
Okay. I'm going to stay with Brighton and actually pick the Brazilian forward João Pedro, who now he could be actually McAllister's replacement. And it's so funny that you guys went with McAllister because yes, he can play he's been used primarily as a winger, mainly on the right wing, but he also has played in the cam role, and he had like 7 assists while out there. Like, and a lot of his assists came from centrally at the number 10. So he could potentially. And there was actually an article that said João Pedro could actually be McAllister's thing, and they want to get him on the bench immediately. So that's really interesting too.
That's fine. Bring on your second dark horse pick. I know you've been pretty high on him throughout the week so far.
Yes.
Boy, talk about him.
We have been looking at a talent. I've been looking at a talent out of the Gambia.
Yes, he'll go scouting, guys. He goes to Netherlands and scouts his players. Go ahead.
He's out of the Gambia. He's 18 years old. His name is Yankuba Minte. Now, I believe signing with Newcastle is the perfect place for him because he could play opposite of Mikel Almiron. He could play behind Mikel Almiron, or he could play as a defensive mid, or he could be the striker as well too. This kid is special. I mean, he played with Feyenoord, and he was electric every time he got on the ball. Remember this name, Yakuba Minte, out of the Gambia. He got some minutes in the U20 World Cup, and he was great.
Well, I'll keep you accountable. We'll talk in a year about the same transfer.
It's on video. It's on video.
It's on video. Hey,
it's on video. Let's go. I kind of like have a scare. I feel Mbappe is going to sign with Man City.
No.
I don't know.
Yes,
he's not going anywhere. He's going to Madrid next year. You
think so?
Yeah.
I mean, they've been scouting him forever. They've been scouting Madrid.
He's just going to go to Madrid.
You're right. Madrid is probably like.
I think their pockets are a bit dry, right, this year. But yeah. Sorry, the other small thing I just thought I should add in as well. I think James Milner is kind of a nice move for Brighton. Yeah. A little veteran presence. They got some European matches and stuff, right?
He'll be fine.
And they did lose Antwerp Songi, who was their center back as well too. He transferred out, so yeah, good replacement for him too.
Well, see,
if he still has foot speed.
Yeah.
I still think Brighton would finish top 10 this season.
Yeah, I think so.
That's not out of the realm possibility.
Let's touch upon a little bit of injury corner. It's like all three players we want to touch upon today are having the same injury. It's Alex Marino from Aston Villa, Michael Olise from Crystal Palace, and Kevin De Bruyne from Man City. All three of them similar injuries, hamstring.
Yeah.
I know it's a soft tissue injuries. There is a possibility of recurring thing, but De Bruyne kind of like played through it. So how is the off-season program looking for them? And I'm pretty sure all of them would be ready, but what does the off-season program look like for them?
In a general sense, good period of rest. Even for guys who are fit, good period of rest. Terrible season for fitness. World Cup thrown in there in the middle, condensed schedules all the way around, so many matches, long season, bit of an early start, late finish. So long season, period of rest to start. Then let's see. Okay. So let's see. Can you get them going on some lighter activity, right? They'll be in there. They'll have access to all the staff because the staffs don't really take an off season, right? So these guys can show up. They can get Yeah. And like all of us, we don't really have off seasons. We have small vacations. We don't have off seasons. Just like the podcast kept going. And then eventually, to be honest, it would be a pretty slow thing. But eventually, I would think you would want to get them going on some activity before training camp just to see where they're at. Because are you going to push them to get fitness and be ready with the rest of the team, or are you going to put them on a separate schedule? So they get in maybe a bit of a session before camp and they go, it's not fully there.
Do you think these players will travel with their teams for their international, their summer vacation trips to US or China or Australia?
So a guy like De Bruyne, he can do whatever. They're not doing De Bruyne's, right, to see if he's fit for camp. He's taking his sweet time. He might show up just to sign autographs, make appearances, right? Maybe get in a few minutes, but his goal is to be ready, maybe not even the first week, maybe the third week kind of thing, right? And then kind of boom, hit the ground running from there. Whereas these other guys, if they're still battling for a spot, right? If there's other guys, because the transfer window just opened, right? So there could still be a lot of roster changes that come up. So if you're battling for a spot, if you're on the last year of your contract, things like that might push them a little bit more to want to get out there, play a lot in preseason, establish themselves, so that once the season starts, they're starting to hit the ground running, and then they have a good season. So I think there's external non-medical factors that we sometimes forget about.
Well, 38 days till the start of Premier League, August 12th. It's right around the corner. It's going to be great. We're all excited. We'll slowly ramp up with all the injury updates, all the transfer news. and hopefully more money moves. Let's see. We need some big players. We need Neymar in Premier League. I think that'll be a good. I don't care where he goes. I think Neymar to Premier League is like match made in heaven. He's a diva. Premier League, the entire league is a diva of soccer leagues. I think it'll be a great add-on. So let's hope for the best.